Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom filled with colorful gardens and sparkling rivers, there lived a princess named Lila. Princess Lila was kind and sweet, but there was one little problem: she was very, very lazy. She didn't like brushing her hair, cleaning her room, or even tying her own shoes. "Why do anything when someone else can do it for me?" she would say with a yawn. Every morning, her maids would dress her, brush her hair, and even feed her breakfast while she lay in bed. The king and queen tried to encourage her to do things on her own, but Lila would just giggle and go back to sleep. "I'm a princess. That's what princesses do," she insisted. One day, a wise old fairy named Myra visited the castle. She had heard of Princess Lila's laziness, and decided to teach her a lesson. With a wave of her wand, Myra cast a gentle spell. "For one whole day, no one in the castle will be able to help you," she said with a twinkle in her eye. "Let's see what happens." The next morning, Lila woke up and called for her maids, but no one came. She waited and waited. Finally, she got out of bed, stumbled to her wardrobe, and dressed herself. Her socks didn't match, and her crown was crooked, but she managed. In the kitchen, there were no chefs, so she had to butter her own toast and pour her own juice. At first, Lila was frustrated. "This is too hard," she grumbled. But as the day went on, she began to feel proud. She had never made her own bed before, and now it looked neat and tidy. She had never fed her pet bunny either, and the little creature happily nuzzled her hand. "Maybe being independent isn't so bad," she said, smiling. When the spell wore off, everyone returned to normal. But Princess Lila had changed. She still had help when she needed it, but now she enjoyed doing many things on her own. And from that day forward, she wasn't just known as Princess Lila, she was Princess Lila the Brave and Busy.
Wow! Look at all the twinkling lights in the forest! It's like a magical wonderland!
Greetings, little ones. Welcome to the Enchanted Forest.
Oh my goodness, it's a real fairy. We've always dreamed of meeting you.
I've heard your heartfelt wishes and couldn't resist granting them today.
This is incredible! We've read about fairies in storybooks, but meeting one in person is beyond our wildest dreams.
I'm glad to make your dreams come true. What would you like to do first?
Can we fly with you? Please, please, please.
Of course. Climb onto my back and hold on tight.
This is amazing. We're flying.
Now let's visit the secret waterfall. It's one of my favorite spots in the forest.
Wow, it's beautiful. Look at the shimmering water and the rainbow above it.
Isn't it magical? But remember, with magic comes responsibility. Always cherish the wonders of nature and spread kindness wherever you go.
We promise, Fairy! Thank you for this incredible adventure.
You're welcome, little ones. But now it's time for you to return home.
Can we visit you again?
Of course. Just close your eyes, make a wish, and believe in the magic. Farewell, dear children.
And as the kids closed their eyes and made their wish, they felt a gentle breeze envelop them, carrying them back to their homes with hearts full of wonder and memories that would last a lifetime.
In a hidden valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a village called Everglenn where fairies lived in treehouses woven from silver vines and golden leaves. Among them was a young fairy named Laya, known not for her magic, but for her courage. Unlike most fairies who loved to dance and sing all day, Laya dreamed of exploring the unknown corners of the world. One twilight evening, as the stars blinked awake, a strange shadow passed over Everglenn. The great willow, the ancient tree that protected their village with its magic, began to wilt. The village elder, a wise fairy named Minnies, gathered everyone and explained that the willow's heart had been stolen by a greedy crow who craved its magic. Without it, Everglenn would soon fade into nothingness. While the other fairies despaired, Laya stepped forward. "I will find the willow's heart," she said bravely. Though she was young and small, her voice was strong. Maylis handed her a silver pendant, a charm of protection, and whispered a blessing for her journey. Eloan flew through forests thick with fog, crossed rivers that shimmered with strange lights, and climbed rocky cliffs under the watchful eyes of distant owls. After a long and tiring search, she found the crow perched atop an ancient tower, the glowing heart of the willow clutched in its sharp claws. The crow was huge and fierce, but Eloan was not afraid. Using her cleverness, Eloan fashioned a small mirror from pieces of ice and silver leaves. She approached the crow and held up the mirror. The crow, vain and greedy, became entranced by its own reflection. While it was distracted, Eloan darted forward and snatched the willow's heart from its talons. The moment she touched it, the heart pulsed with life, sending a wave of green light across the sky. Eloan raced back to Everglenn, the pendant around her neck glowing brightly to guide her way. She returned just in time, planting the heart back into the great willow's trunk. The tree shivered once, then blossomed with golden leaves, bathing the village in warm light. The fairies of Everglenn hailed Eloan as a hero. They celebrated for 3 days and nights, telling tales of her bravery. From that day on, Eloan became not just an explorer, but a protector of all that was good and magical. And whenever a young fairy stood gazing at the mountains, dreaming of adventure, they would say, "Remember Eloan, who followed her heart and saved us all."